welcome to another Flosstube video. This is my 5th Flosstube video. I am Chris, and this is XrossStitch, and it is Tuesday, June 18th, 2021. This is a channel about cross-stitching. So if you found your way here by mistake, now's the time. If you haven't found your way here by mistake, thank you for coming once again. If you are new to the channel, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like the video. I hope you subscribe to me. And if you are returning, you're amazing. We hit a milestone on Friday at about 5:42 p.m. Pacific. not that I was counting the minutes, but you're amazing. I got tongue-tied, so I had to cut there. Your amazing selves, all of you who have pressed the subscribe button, have put me over the 1,000 subscriber mark. And I am just over the moon happy. This really is so much fun, and I love it more with every passing video. I love it more with every interaction I have with each of you. And I'm just chuffed. Also, I shouted out Sew Me Sarah last video, and she was under 1,000. And by the end of the day, or the very next morning, she also went over 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for helping her out as well. It's just, I don't know what to say. I love your comments. I love the stories that you share with me. I love commiserating with you about toys from the 70s. I love hearing your tips and your suggestions, and it really means the world to me, that interaction. I think that's what I love about it the best. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I promised that we would do a giveaway after we hit 1,000 subscribers, and I'm going to get to that at the end of the video. But first of all, I just want to say thank you. In retrospect, as I've been looking at these videos, I've noticed that I take up a tremendous amount of time at the beginning of the video just gushing about how much I appreciate it. So just know that if I don't do that each and every time, I still appreciate it exponentially more. I just want to get on to some fun stuff, but I can't thank you enough. It is hot in Southern California today, as my Aunt Johnny May used to say. It's hotter than a streetwalker in Sunday school. Lord have mercy. Question and answers. I had a couple of questions that I do want to take the time out briefly to answer, well, or maybe not so briefly, knowing me. GAIL MAGPIESTITCHER asked, where in Alabama did you grow up? You have never heard of my hometown. None of you. Well, I say that, but usually anytime I say that, there's always one cheeky person in the group, wherever I am, who has somehow heard of it. But I grew up in a very, very small town in northwest Alabama, 5 miles from the Mississippi state border. It is named Celadon. That's Sulligent. It was an old railroad town way back. And it was named apparently after the 2 conductors, or one of the managers or the owner or something that had to do with the railroad line that went through our town. So they took, the 2 guys were named Sullivan and Sargent. So they just cut both names in half and put them together. So there's Sulligent, Alabama. It's not very big. There was I think there's still less than 2,000 people. We had 3 traffic lights. One of them blinked. And, it was your basic Mayberry in Alabama town, where people rarely locked their doors, and you could leave the keys in the car when you went into the Piggly Wiggly to get your gallon of milk. you know, for fun on Friday evenings, we used to ride around the block. There was only one. The teenagers, we would, once you got your permit or whatever, you could drive. We just drove around the block on Friday night. And if you were one of the rough boys, you parked next to the railroad and drank beer. But needless to say, I wasn't very rough. So yes, Celadon, Alabama. That was where I grew up. Yeah. The other question I had, was from Crazy Band Lady Stitches. Both of these people have floss tubes of their own. Crazy Band Lady Stitches is great. She's I love watching her. She is very into band and drum corps and things like that. And I commented how much I loved it, and I was in band and I was in choir, and she asked what instrument did I play in the marching band. I played the snare drum. And the funny thing about that is that the snare drum was bigger than I was. I'm not kidding you. I played in 5th and 6th grade, it was concert band. You know, we didn't march. And when you got to 7th grade and you marched, you know, you marched with a snare drum. And I was a small child, and I was short until after I graduated high school. I didn't have my growth spurt until I was in my freshman year of college. And then I grew, but I was a shorter boy. And that darn snare drum was, it started at my waist and went down to my ankles. It was ridiculous. And it only lasted one marching season, and then I had to stop. I was a band supporter, but and I was there in the stands with the rest of the band, but that snare drum had to go. I did play piano, though, for years and years and years. Okay, so moving right along. All of you have been telling me about colonial knots. I had no idea there was a thing as colonial knots, and I have now started looking at colonial knots, and thank you for telling me about them, because if it's a good alternative to French knots, I will certainly take a look at that and see if I can make it work. I didn't know there were a thing, so thank you for that. All right, cross-stitching. Cross-stitch, that's why we're all here. I didn't have any finishes, but I did get some things in for a finish that I will be doing, a FFO that I will be doing. So I'm excited about that. If you've seen my first few videos, you'll know what this is for. I'm very excited. So there's that. Works in progress. I progressed on my basket of cherries by Blackbird Designs, which, as many of you know, was my very first stitch on linen. And it was an adventure, and last time I only had literally one cherry stitched. Because I was waiting on the floss. But it came. I didn't take this off the hoop. I'm sorry, because I'm weird about, I don't want to move my frame or my hoop often. I don't know why. Maybe you can talk me out of that, but I feel like, I don't know. I just don't like taking it on and on. I don't know why. But I made a lot of progress on this. I'm very excited about it. You can see that there are more of the cherries. I actually started the basket. I did the Smyrna crosses, which is a specialty stitch that's called for in this pattern. And I'm really pleased with that. Using the called for flosses. This is a 32 count cocoa linen, and it's fun to stitch on. It's a challenge. I'm getting better at it, but you know, I have to, this is my morning. This is what I stitch in the mornings because I have to be fresh to do it, but it's good and I'm enjoying it a lot, and you'll see more of that soon too. After pontificating for a couple of videos about waiting on my fabric to arrive, I showed you last week that I finally got my Victorian green Aida in the mail so that I could begin a stitch along that I'm doing with the Proper Stitcher, Annie at the Proper Stitcher, and Artie at the Vintage Stitcher, which I'm sure many of you know about and many of you are actually doing, and it's really fun, the Quaker Christmas Stitch Along. I got it, I started it, and I haven't gotten much done because y'all, it takes a long time to sew these motifs, to stitch these motifs, and and as I'm learning, when you've got like 7 things going, wow, you just can't put as much time into each. I now get it. I get it. I get it why you have works in progress for years. I'm not there yet because I have touched everything that I have in progress this week. But boy, I understand now what it's like. But I started my Quaker Christmas and I just love it. I really love it. This is a variegated DMC. It's called Christmas Story, and it's DMC 4250. And my biggest worry about this was that the greens were not going to be contrasty enough on this fabric, but boy, they're perfect. The darkest green is still light enough to read, and the majority of it are much lighter hues. So I just love it. It's so good. It's so good. And I want to do more on it, and I'm gonna do more on it, and I'll have more done next week. But yeah, I'm just so glad that I held out for this fabric, and I'm so glad that I held out that I stuck to my guns and that I decided to go with the variegated because I love it. Next up is the Wizard of Oz Secret Stitch Along that by Satsuma Street that I'm doing. I showed you last week that I had finally caught up with chapter 1 and 2, and I actually didn't need to stitch on it for about 4 days because I had finished it all except for the French knots. And we got the chapter on Thursday. I only picked it up yesterday because I was trying to finish the Quaker Christmas motif and do some other things, but I did make some progress on it with Dorothy asleep in the poppies. That's Toto on her, that little black blob is going to be Toto on her back. And then this is an adorable one because it has the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion, you know, weeping over the fact that she's falling asleep. But love this stitch. It's so much fun. Love the colors, love everything about it. This is great. I just love it. Looking at that. You know you are a cross-stitcher when, and you know you are an addicted cross-stitcher when. Today I got in the shower and I was showering and I looked down in the shower floor, and there was a big hunk of floss. I don't know where it came from. It was not in the shower before I got in the shower. So therefore, it had come off my person. Now, I don't know whether it was in my hair. I don't know if it was, you know, hiding out elsewhere. But when I got in the shower and the water struck, there it was. So clearly I'm, you know, harboring floss on my body now. And that is disturbing. A couple of weeks ago, I started a hashtag for my, at the beginning of June when I was beginning to do my June plans. And I decided I was going to stitch Halloween themed things in June. And I am doing that under the hashtag SpookySummerStitch. And so many of you are doing it and posting your photos to Instagram and using the hashtag, and I'm seeing so many beautiful new patterns that I had never seen. So I love that, and I love seeing the progress on them. I love seeing how they stitch up some of these patterns that I'd seen before, but you've never seen them actually stitched by anybody. So please continue to keep using Spooky Summer Stitch. We're going to do it all the way through the summer, and you know, maybe bring it back next year if we're all still floss tubing next year. So but one of my first pieces on the Spooky Summer Stitch is my Satsuma Street Halloween cat, and I got a lot done on her this week. I got a lot of the moon done. I got her eyes in, and her cute little bow and all this stuff. I didn't have very much of this at all last week. I think I only had just a little portion of her face. But, and I haven't done her ears yet, so she can't hear anything right now. But I love stitching this. That's Halloween Cat. And I've had a couple of people say, since I started stitching this, that they want to stitch it too. So that's what I think is great. It's inspiring other people to stitch something. The other piece that I'm stitching on for Spooky Summer Stitch, okay, here we go. I didn't want to do an edit there, is HILDE'S Hayride by Michelle Bendy Stitchy at Bendy Stitchy Designs. This is so much, I love doing this too. And I didn't have much done at all on this last week. I only had the bat done, which prompted the bat story, which many of you commented upon, all true. And I got a lot more done on that. You see, I've got the pumpkins done and the little, the hay stalk, stalk of wheat, whatever. Is hay wheat? No. It's hay. See, that's horrible. That's one of the, that's as you know, I used to know that. I used to know that. That information used to be up in my head. It's not in there anymore. I'm not dumb. It just fell out. It fell out of my head like that floss fell out of my... Anyway, this is this is HILDE'S Hayride by Michelle Bendy Stitching. I love it. It's so much fun. So these are two of my... Oh, I just lost a magnet. These are two of my Spooky Summer Stitch projects that are going concurrently. So that leads into the piece that you all chose for me, which is a perfect segue into haul, because over the week I received in the mail the chart that you all chose for me to stitch, and that is Glendon Place's Sleepy Hollow. I got it. This thing's great. It's a little daunting in that there are several pages, but I understand that. But I got this along with all of the floss, all of the beads, everything that you need to stitch this piece, I have. And I also got my fabric for it. Now, you guys, this is linen. It's amply big enough. This is fiber on a Whim's light steel. And I love it. It's very, very close to what is called for in the pattern. They call for Haunted by Picture This Plus, but that's discontinued now. 28 count. This is not 28 count. I don't know what count this is. I'm gonna have to actually like measure it, but it's small. This could possibly be a 40 count, which makes my teeth chatter a little bit in fright, which is appropriate for a Halloween stitch. But I love it. I think that this is gonna look amazing on it. This is a little more gray, this is a little more blue. Doesn't matter though, I think, because the tonality is pretty much the same. But, oh, small. Small, small, small. We may be buying that magnifying light that all of you have recommended. But this is part of my haul, this light steel from Fiber on a Whim. In addition, just to build up my stash, I got Fiber on a Whim's a fat quarter of their heather, which is a lighter, which is markedly, I would say, a smaller thread count, because I can see, even without my readers, I can see the count on this. And then I got just a little extra piece. I don't even think that this is, I don't know what size this is, but I got their parchment, and I thought that would be pretty for some of these beautiful smaller samplers that I see you guys doing, that one of these days I'm going to stitch. But this is their parchment. So I got an order from Fiber on a Whim. Another bit of haul that I was tickled to death to get was something that I actually ordered from Artie at the Vintage Stitcher. She was doing, and I hate to show this because I don't think she's doing them anymore. I think the orders have closed, but I got one of her project bags that she has made specifically for the Quaker Christmas Stitch Along. This is my very first project bag ever. And she made it, and it's so special. It's the green with the stars. It has her Vintage Stitcher logo on it with the little zipper pull with the snowman, which I love. And this will be for, I don't know that I'm gonna fold my, that big piece of Aida to put in here because it'll get too wrinkly. But I'm going to keep all the accoutrement for that project in here, and I just love it. So thank you, Artie, for sending this, and thank you even more for the little bits of happy mail that you sent along with it. She included an adorable little bookmark kit. This is an actual kit. It's got the floss and everything in there. It's great. I got some stickers, which I'm not a sticker person, but I'm going to put these in my giveaway pile because they're actually quite beautiful. I say I'm not a sticker person. I might be a sticker person after this, but those more than likely will end up going into my stash for giveaways. And then this cute little, I think this is a place to keep your needles and like some loose pieces of thread. It's fascinating. I love this because I kind of don't know what it is. But I think it is one of those little things. So please tell me what this is. Tell me what this is, gentle viewers, because I'm sure it's that. But the bottom line is I'm so appreciative of it all, Artie, and it made me smile and made my day, your thoughtfulness, and I'm so excited to have the project bag. So thank you. And in the world of in the world of Murphy's Law, after I agonized and after I started the project on another piece of Victorian green Aida that I had to wait on and order and receive, I got the first one I ordered. So I've got another piece of Victorian green Aida, which I'm excited to have. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, I'm not ungrateful because I will use this on another Christmas project more than likely. But of course, I got it after I agonized over the other one. Now, we're not going to do the giveaway this week because, as I promised, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I promised I was going to do my first giveaway, and I'm going to do that. But I need a little more time to build up what I'm going to give away. Part of it is going to be the booklet, the Leisure Arts booklet that I talked about a few videos ago, that contains the charts for the very first cross-stitch patterns that I ever did when I was 9 years old in 1980. That's going to be a component of it. But I want it to be a little bit more robust because I want there to be more than one, and I want it to be something that really signifies the milestone of the first 1,000 subscribers. So give me one more week for that, and I'll be able to show you what those giveaways are. So that's it for today. I think this is going to end up being a little shorter, maybe because I didn't tell a story or show a toy. Oh, I was going to show a toy. I found the Weebles boat. I found the Weebles boat that I had. There it is. This is the one. I didn't have many Weebles things. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper cat. Damn car alarm can't even keep a beat. And you know what's funny? I don't even live in the city. Oh, there we go. It just did that last one for spite. Anyway, that's it for today. That's my Weebles boat, car alarm. Ask me questions. I will answer them on air. I have to catch up on my floss tubes, so there will be more shout outs for the under 1,000 subs club coming. Although I will say that Crazy Band Lady Stitches is under 1,000 subscribers, and she's delightful, so there's a shout out. That I mentioned earlier, who asked the question. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for your likes, your subscribes, your comments. Please keep them coming. Hi there, sorry about this interruption, and I'm back in the original place that I filmed because it's hot and that hum is the air conditioner. And I just relocated to my editing place instead of my recording place. But here's the question. You know those things that you put on the edge of your scroll frame that are elasticy and like suspender clippy? I'm using elastic and straight pins right now, and it's working, but I really need those things. And I looked on Etsy and I didn't find any that seemed to look like what other people were using. So if you know where I can get those, or a brand, or a person who makes them, that would be great. I'd love to hear from you with regard to those. So back to our regularly scheduled programming. Sorry, I'm doing this on a selfie stick. It's bouncing and you hear the hum of my air conditioner, but hey, any port in a storm, right? Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you next week. And in the meantime, happy stitching, have a great week, and take care. Bye-bye.